Hey everyone! So, this has been a really interesting week of news. Only a couple of reveals, but each one of them were something big. And unfortunately, big can sometimes be something really bad. John Warden, who was the former head of Transformers and also the current head of Transformers, and also the person most responsible for G.I. Joe Classified, is gone from Hasbro. And we don't know the official reason yet. We do know that this was a Hasbro decision and not a John Warden decision. And the thing that everyone's pointing to right now is it was probably budget cuts. He was probably laid off. Every year, Hasbro does this where they will just do a massive series of layoffs, even against lines that are doing really well. Last year was one of the best years ever for Wizards of the Coast, and yet a bunch of people got laid off. Transformers always does decently well, and yet now you have John Warden laid off. And keep in mind, this isn't just a designer, this was the head guy. And he was the current head guy of Transformers, after spending a lot of years really revitalizing G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe was a dead brand. Nobody cared about G.I. Joe. Except for the people nostalgic for the older toy lines. And John Warden brought it back in a really big way. And then he was brought back over to Transformers. Under his leadership before, you had the Prime Wars trilogy of Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and Power of the Primes. And you also got Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom under Warden. And now he's gone. And I could get into a whole discussion on where they would get somewhat charged, so I'm not going to get into it. This isn't that type of channel. It's a pretty fun time channel. All I'm going to say is, when you have people who are doing amazing work, both in terms of designing toys and getting toys to market, and then they can get fired just so someone who's never worked a day in their life can see their stock price go up, that's not too fun. But, hey, let's get into some toys. So, the first toy to talk about is we have in-hand images, finally, of the Trainbot Yamabuki. We don't have robot in-hand images. We've only gotten the train in-hand images. The train looks good. Looks like a cool yellow and green train. I'm not messing with the Masterpiece train bots. I hope people are digging them, though, because I think they look cool. They're just not really for me. Past that, we're going to go into third party now. There was really only one reveal from third party this week, and it's the TFCon Baltimore exclusive from Fans Hobby. They're taking their Energon Optimus and they're doing it into a Nemesis color scheme. This doesn't exist. There is not a Nemesis Energon Optimus, but this looks great. Honestly, this looks better than normal Energon Optimus in terms of color scheme. Incredibly sharp. I don't know if I personally need this. Energon Optimus is not one of my favorite designs ever or anything, but I think this looks really, really nice. I love this. And then official reveals. We're going to start off kind of low energy, and then we're going to get into some of the stuff that Hasbro has revealed from the MCM Comic-Con recently. So, first of all, Symbiote Studios has revealed Sludge. And I saw this, and I was like, didn't they already reveal Sludge? And then I remember, no, that was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and it was Sludge with his eyeballs falling out after Devastator hits him. So this is the normal Sludge, released at normal retail. He looks pretty good. Grimlock, though, looks kind of goofy to me. I don't know, I think I prefer Sludge. But Grimlock, also revealed. I'm sure people out there would love to get a big cuddly Grimlock. Super 7 just cannot contain these leaks. If they were a boat, they'd be sinking to the point of, no salvation at this point. There might be a G2/Diaclone version of Devastator coming out in the reaction line. It wouldn't surprise me. They've been doing a lot of repaints in these last few waves, so we'll just have to wait and see on that one. So last week, they revealed, Big Bad Toy Store did, that they were going to re-release Scorponok, and I said, I hope they do Omega Supreme eventually. Literally, the day I posted that video, it was announced that Omega Supreme's getting a re-release, which is incredible. I want this figure so badly, and now he's going to be back out on the market. That is terrific. There's going to be a lot more re-releases too. So, the Rise of the Beasts Optimus and the Bumblebee movie Bumblebee from Studio Series are both going to be coming back out. The Bumblebee movie Bumblebee will have a new paint deco to make him more accurate to the movie. It's going to be a paler yellow. The Optimus is going to be unchanged. But that's great. I never got that Optimus, and I do have the original release of that Bumblebee. I would like it again, though, if it is going to be more accurate with the deco. Both of these are pretty solid toys. The Optimus is better than the Bumblebee, but hey, it's cool that they're both coming back out. You're also going to be able to grab Studio Series 86 Jazz again. A lot of people would say this is the best Jazz toy of all time, and it is a very good Jazz. I know a lot of people in the comment sections have been talking to me lately saying that they miss this guy, so he's going to be coming back out. Wonderful. We also have Dark of the Moon Shockwave coming back out. I have been praying and hoping that this Shockwave would get re-released. I hate that I sold mine off. So I'm going to be there day one trying to get this guy back in because he is a great toy. We also have some repaints and remolds coming out. So we're going to get Gamer Edition Ironhide. I literally just reviewed Ratchet. What a phenomenal toy. And Ironhide looks like he's going to be just as good. I cannot wait to get this rough-talking Texan into my shelf. We're also finally seeing Ape Link from Studio Series. He is actually a lot more different from Primal than I would have thought. He's a lot more silver. There's a different paint scheme. I don't know if I'm going to double dip on this mold because ultimately they do still look pretty similar. But he's a pretty good looking bot, all things considered. There's also Q from Dark of the Moon getting his toy. I personally don't mind Q. I think he's fine. I know for some reason in the fandom there is a lot of hatred for Q and Pablo both. Probably because they were both called Wheeljack. Personally, I think he's fine. I don't know if I'm going to pick up this toy or not just because I don't like his design all that much. But maybe if I saw him on sale, I'd pick him up because I do like the head design. Now this, they're doing Last Night Optimus, finally. I have been hoping that they would finally go back and do some of the Age of Extinction and Last Night characters again. I still want a more accurate Hound. I need a more accurate Drift. We have a good Crosshairs now, and it would also be really cool to get Last Night Megatron again. It'd be cool to get Last Night Barricade. Honestly, like, as much as I like the original Nitro Zeus, you could do another Nitro Zeus at this point. And this Optimus looks just so good. I love how those proportions are looking in this photo. And finally, we're getting into the Generations reveals. We have Age of a Primes Megatronus. This is the first Age of the Primes figure we've seen released. And I'll be honest, there was still a part of me that was terrified. Oh god, is this going to be like the Prime Masters again, where they're just going to be like little gimmick figures? No. This is a full featured Megatronus. They're using the Dreamwave design. He looks so good. I actually just got the Titanium Megatronus, and I really like him too. I keep using Megatronus. For anyone who doesn't know, this is the Fallen. This was the original design of the Fallen. There is a part of me that's disappointed because I was hoping that these would be the TF1 designs. But it is cool that we are getting the proper Dreamwave design of the Fallen. I'm hoping we might still get a TF1 Megatronus because, god, that's a good design too. But yeah, really digging this guy. I think the big reveal, though, was the fact we've seen Studio Series 86 Devastator and our first two Constructicons. Devastator looks great. He is so well proportioned. He's good and thick and chunky. I love the head sculpt here. I can't wait to see it painted. I want to see painted prototype, and I want to see the rest of the Constructicons. Because the two we've seen so far, one's kind of iffy, but one looks incredible. And I'm just hoping that they keep going in the direction of the one I really like. So, in terms of the iffy one, Bone Crusher does look okay. He's actually very screen accurate. It's just the cartoon design for Bone Crusher has always been really weird. It looks like he has like a loaded diaper, and he's very squat, and he's too green. Bone Crusher's too green, and he's always been too green. It's one of those weird things where they are incredibly accurate. It's not the fault of the toy designers. It's entirely the fault of the Sunbow cartoon designers. This is a Floro Deary problem, I tell you. But Bone Crusher looks really good. I'm curious how the transformation is going to work. But then, Scrapper. Scrapper looks so good. Scrapper is always one of my favorites. I can't even tell you why I like Scrapper so much. He's just a character that every time he pops up, I'm happy. Every time I hear that Michael Bell gravelly voice, I'm happy. Every time I see that design, I'm happy. Every time I see that head, I'm happy. Every time I see my boy, I'm happy. I love Scrapper. He is my favorite Constructicon. He's probably in my top 10 Decepticons, and I can't even tell you why. I've always liked the guy, and he looks really good here. I cannot wait to buy this Scrapper. I won't lie, I might wind up buying two, because I think I'm going to build up the Devastator, but out of all the Constructicons, the only one I care about having as a single robot is Scrapper. So, Scrapper might be a double dip for Ron Bon John. And on that note, guys, that kind of wraps up our news coverage. As I said, there weren't a lot of reveals this week. There were a lot of cool things, and then there was also the very unfortunate news with John Warden. What I'm going to say is, corporations are not your friends, but the people inside corporations can be. The Transformers design team are still knocking it out of the park. There are rumors that there's going to be a budget crunch coming very soon, but just based on what they've been doing and how they have dealt with budget crunches in the past, I really think that this design team and the LA design team that handles things like the cartoons and the movie toy lines, I think that they are going to be perfectly fine. I hate that a lot of them are probably going to be hurt by the same round of layoffs that John Warden just had to endure, but, these guys are artists. They are. The Transformers design team legitimately are artists, both on the Hasbro and the Takara side, and I am just so enthralled with what they are still putting out. So we will have to wait and see where it goes from here. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, Many Toys of Shockwave coming this Friday. Right now, I'm still trying to finish it. It is over an hour long, so look out for that one. And on that note, guys, I'll see what we get up to next time.